Right now, in America, you can legally buy a military tank, not a toy, not a replica, an actual armored combat vehicle, for less than the price of a sports car. Websites are selling them online with free shipping. Thousands of Americans already own them. Arnold Schwarzenegger drives his through Los Angeles. It's completely legal. No special license required in most states. This sounds insane. So I spent 2 weeks investigating. Can you actually buy a tank in America? How much does it cost? What's the legal process? And why does nobody talk about this? The answers will shock you. Welcome to Battlefield Insights, where we explore the military realities most people don't know about. Today's investigation: civilian tank ownership in America. This isn't theory. This isn't hypothetical. This is a real market where regular Americans are buying armored fighting vehicles and parking them in their driveways. And it's all completely legal. Let's break down exactly how this works, what it costs, and why the US government allows it. First, let's confirm the shocking truth. Yes, you can legally own a tank in the United States. Under federal law, armored vehicles are classified as destructive devices, but ownership is permitted with proper registration. However, most civilian tanks are demilitarized, meaning the main gun is disabled, firing mechanisms removed. The ATF treats a demilitarized tank basically like a really heavy, really expensive car. In most states, you can register it just like any vehicle. You need a title, insurance, and registration. Some states require CDL, commercial driver's license, because tanks weigh over 26,000 pounds. But that's it. No federal firearms license. No extensive background check beyond normal vehicle purchase. No special permits. In Texas, Florida, Montana, Arizona, you can buy a tank easier than buying a handgun. Arnold Schwarzenegger owns an M47 Patton tank. He bought it from the Austrian military and imported it to California. He's been photographed driving it, crushing things with it, giving rides to celebrities, completely legal. There are tank collectors across America with dozens of vehicles, private military vehicle shows, online communities dedicated to restoration and operation. This is a thriving subculture. Insurance companies like Grundy and Haggerty specifically offer coverage. Progressive and State Farm will write a policy. This isn't some legal gray area. It's an established market with thousands of participants operating openly. Now let's talk money. Where do you actually buy a tank and what does it cost? The primary marketplace is Mortar Investments, a company in Texas specializing in decommissioned military vehicles. Their website looks like a car dealership, but instead of Toyotas, they're selling Soviet T-72s and American M60 Pattons. Current inventory as of this investigation: M3 Stuart Light Tank, World War II era, fully restored, running, $50,000. M60 Patton Main Battle Tank, Vietnam to Gulf War era, demilitarized, $85,000. British Chieftain, Cold War Beast, requires diesel expertise, $120,000. Soviet T-55, cheapest full-size tank option, parts readily available from Eastern Europe, $40,000. These aren't the only options. Army surplus auctions sell vehicles regularly. Military Vehicles magazine runs classifieds. Facebook groups connect buyers and sellers. Estate sales sometimes include military collections. But here's what they don't advertise: the hidden costs. Shipping a 60-ton tank from Texas to your home, $10,000 to $15,000 minimum. Specialized heavy equipment transport, permits for oversized loads, insurance during transit. Then there's operation. These machines consume fuel like you wouldn't believe. 1 gallon per mile is typical. Your commute would cost $50 each way. Insurance runs $2,000 to $5,000 per year depending on value and coverage. Storage requires a large building. You can't park a tank on the street in most neighborhoods. Maintenance? These are complex machines requiring specialized knowledge. Tracks wear out, $15,000 to replace. Engine rebuilds, $30,000 and up. But here's the thing. If you just want the experience without the flagship price tag, alternatives exist. Armored cars from $15,000, M113 APCs for $30,000, WW2 half-tracks for $25,000. The tank market has options at every price point for the determined buyer. So why does America allow civilians to own tanks when most countries strictly prohibit it? The answer lies deep in American constitutional philosophy and culture. During the Revolutionary War, private citizens owned cannons, warships, and military equipment. The Continental Army relied on privately owned weapons. The Founding Fathers explicitly intended citizens to have access to military equipment, not for hunting, not for sport, but to serve in militia and resist tyranny, whether foreign or domestic. This philosophy never changed. Even as technology advanced, the principle remained. Citizens should have access to defensive capability. Now, modern tanks with operational weapons are heavily restricted. That crosses into current military hardware. But demilitarized vehicles, the government sees no threat. A tank without a functioning gun is just really impressive armor on tracks. It can't threaten public safety any more than a bulldozer. Compare this to Switzerland, where every male citizen keeps a military rifle at home after service. Or Israel, where civilians regularly carry military weapons. America's tank ownership is actually less radical than it appears globally. There are practical benefits. Collectors preserve military history. Many tanks would be scrapped without private buyers. These vehicles end up in museums, educational displays, historical reenactments. Veterans reunite with the machines they served on. Restoration creates jobs. Specialized mechanics, parts suppliers, transport companies. Tank rallies and military vehicle shows draw thousands, generating tourism revenue. And there's the surplus argument. When the military retires equipment, selling to civilians recovers taxpayer investment. A tank sitting in desert storage costs money. Sold to a collector, it generates revenue and preserves history. The tank owner community is remarkably responsible. They organize safety training, share mechanical knowledge, respect local laws. These aren't reckless thrill seekers. They're history enthusiasts with expensive hobbies. Most importantly, in 75 years of legal civilian tank ownership, there hasn't been a single incident of someone using a private tank to harm others in America. Not one. The theoretical danger hasn't manifested into actual danger. And that's why the practice continues. So here's the reality check. Can you buy a tank in America? Absolutely yes. Should you? That's a different question entirely. Let's talk real numbers. Cheapest viable tank, $40,000. Decent condition tank, $80,000 to $150,000. Shipping to your location, $10,000 to $15,000. Storage facility or large building, $500 to $2,000 per month. Insurance, $2,000 to $5,000 per year. Maintenance and repairs, $5,000 to $20,000 annually. Fuel for operation, $100 per hour. Total cost of ownership over 5 years for a mid-range tank, $250,000 to $500,000. That's luxury car money for a vehicle that maxes out at 10 miles per hour, can't legally drive on most roads, destroys pavement wherever it goes, requires specialized maintenance, and has parts that are increasingly difficult to source. This is why, despite perfect legality, only a few thousand Americans actually own tanks. It's not accessibility, it's practicality. The people who do own them fall into categories. Serious military history collectors with significant wealth. Veterans with emotional connections to specific vehicles, museums, and educational institutions, and a handful of wealthy enthusiasts who think it's cool. But here's what surprised me most during this investigation. Tanks aren't even the wildest thing you can legally own. Armored personnel carriers are common and much more practical. Decommissioned military trucks see regular civilian use. Certain fighter jets are street legal with proper permits. You can own a half-track, an armored car, even some artillery pieces if demilitarized. The American market for military surplus is vast and mostly unknown to average citizens. The final takeaway? Yes, you can absolutely buy a tank in America. The law allows it, the market exists. The process is surprisingly straightforward, but the practical barriers limit ownership to a small, dedicated community. This isn't a loophole or legal gray area, it's deliberate policy rooted in American constitutional philosophy. Whether you think that's amazing freedom or dangerous permissiveness depends on your perspective, but the facts are undeniable. In America, if you have the money and commitment, your dream of owning a tank is completely achievable. This is Battlefield Insights, exploring the military realities hiding in plain sight. Tank ownership in America, completely legal, surprisingly common, and wildly impractical for most people. If this investigation surprised you, subscribe immediately. Next video. Can you legally own fighter jets in America? The answer will shock you even more. Drop a comment. If money wasn't an issue, would you buy a tank? Why or why not? Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay informed, and appreciate the unique freedoms America offers, even the weird ones.